Alright guys, we hear you loud and clear in the comments section. You guys don't always love the Xeon combos, especially when you're pairing it with a 4060. So today, we're going Ryzen.
And of course, our friends at AliExpress are nice enough to sponsor this video to showcase that they do have Ryzen CPUs and AM4 motherboards you can get for cheap as a better alternative to those Xeon combos if you don't want to go that route. And of course, for sponsoring this video, we're going to show you guys step by step how to build it, but let's tell you guys about some of the sales AliExpress is currently running to save you even more money.
Big shout again to AliExpress for sponsoring this video. We love AliExpress for budget build guides like today's video, and currently for their Black Friday sale, you can save a ton of money on PC hardware and other tech from November 19th to December 3rd. For example, if you buy the Ryzen 5 3600 and Soyo B550M motherboard we purchased in today's video, if you use one of our codes, you can actually save $25 off your order. AliExpress has always been our go-to option to get PC hardware at great prices for budget PC build guides. With free shipping and free returns, AliExpress has better choices at better prices. They also sent over a gaming monitor and keyboard to showcase. First up, the gaming keyboard. The VGN ATK68V2 is a magnetic switch keyboard with magnetic jade switches. It features super premium build quality and comes in a wide range of different colors. We've done a lot of content on magnetic switch keyboards here on the channel, and they do give you a competitive edge in gaming in terms of their responsiveness. So if you're looking to take your PC gaming to the next level, definitely consider this gaming keyboard on AliExpress. Now, if you're on a budget and want to buy a gaming monitor, let's say you're building this $600 PC today, you can definitely consider this gaming monitor from AliExpress. This is the Elsa 23.8-inch gaming monitor. This monitor comes in at under $100, is 1080p 100Hz, and is perfect for anyone who wants to have an ultra budget gaming setup that doesn't sacrifice high refresh rate. Be sure to check out the links down below for the gaming monitor, the keyboard, and all the parts we use from AliExpress in today's PC build video, and save money today using the discount codes located down below. And big shout again to AliExpress for sponsoring this PC build guide. We'll show you guys how to build a $600 RTX 4060 gaming PC.
So shout out again to AliExpress for sponsoring this build. This is a step-by-step build guide. So we're going to go over all the parts for this PC build and then show you guys step-by-step how to put it together and dive into some benchmarks to see for $600, is this 4060 PC worth it?
So to kick things off, at $50, we get the Ryzen 5 3600 from AliExpress. Now make sure you use the discount code that we mentioned in the ad because you can make this and the motherboard we'll talk about in a minute a whole lot cheaper. This is a 6-core 12-thread CPU, and of course, doesn't come with a stock cooler, so we decided to get something better. We got the SE214 XT from ID Cooling. This is $15, which is very cheap for a very nice tower cooler. Now here's a kind of new to me motherboard. This is a Soyo B550M, and I gotta say, their branding is pretty cool looking. Now the board itself is a fairly basic B550M, but it does have two 4-pins for the CPU, just 2 RAM slots, so it'll be plenty in our use case, but definitely seems like a nice board and we get to test it out today in some gaming. And it comes in at $68, which is really cheap for a B550. Coming in at $28, you have some Teamgroup Vulcan Z RAM. This is a really good deal. $28 for 16 gigs, 2x8, so it's dual channel, it's 3200 megahertz, fairly good cast latency, and overall, I highly recommend this kit. And then coming in at $56, we have a Mushkin Gen 4 1TB NVMe SSD. Yeah, normally with these budget builds, we do like a 512 and we do Gen 3, but this time we're gonna be utilizing that 3600 and the fact that this motherboard actually has Gen 4 PCIe and NVMe support. So it's once again, just another reason why this build is pretty good for the price.
All right guys, for the graphics card, we have this RTX 4060, specifically a, oh god, the knife fell. Specifically an MSI 2-fan model that we paid $279 for. You could find one new for around the same price right now if you do a little bit of deal hunting, but going used will save you a good $20 to $30 on the RTX 4060. So if you want to save some money, get this build below $600, I definitely recommend you do that and look for the 4060 used. Segotep GN650 80 plus gold. Let me know down below, guys, we should make like a jingle for this. You know, every time we talk about this power supply, we just play like a jingle because this is the power supply we use at PC Bros, our PC selling business, buy PC today. And yeah, 650 watts is plenty for this PC build. And yeah, it's a really good unit that we use a lot here at PC Bros and Toasty Bros. Now, of course, with this very awesome price performance PC, we had to go with this very awesome price performance case. This is the Okinos Aqua 3 Micro ATX Black case, which you guys know and love. We've used many times, and we use it a lot at PC Bros, but we also use it a lot here on the channel because it's $59, guys. It comes with 3 RGB fans pre-installed, has the fish tank design that everyone knows and loves, and it's super easy to build in. And we'll show you guys when we do our build, but I'm going to unbox it for those who are not familiar with this case. I would highly recommend you just go ahead and buy this version right here because it's a little more expensive, but it's already out of the box. And boom, look at this thing. It's a classic. Tempered glass, 3 RGB fans. It is all exhaust, but from our testing, it runs perfectly fine in pretty much any PC build we build in it, so we're gonna keep it with that configuration, but hey, Tempered glass looking really solid, and I'm very excited to build this PC. Once again, this is a step-by-step guide. So Jackson, let's go show you how to set up the motherboard, install the CPU, RAM, storage, cooler, all that sort of fun stuff. And then I'm gonna put the power supply in the case. We're gonna put everything together, plug it all up, and then it'll be off to gaming with this 4060 PC, because I feel like this 3600 4060 combo is gonna be really fun to use in gaming. Let's get to building and then dive into some tests.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and start building this motherboard. So first thing we're gonna do that I normally never have to show you guys is installing a battery. So usually when shipping overseas, they cannot have any batteries. So this is a CMOS battery. I have noticed some boards will come with them, but some don't. So it's literally like about a 90-cent battery, especially if you buy them, you know, more than one at a time. But this is a CR2025. I think you can also take a 2032. That steps over. Don't swallow it, please. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and get our Ryzen 3600 out of the box. Now it does actually come with some thermal paste. I think we're gonna use something a little nicer, but I'm sure that paste works just fine. Oh yeah, I forgot, this does come with thermal paste. Jonah reminded me. We'll actually use the ID cooling thermal paste. So what we're gonna do, there's an arrow here on the board, and there's gonna be an arrow on the CPU. It's a really tiny little arrow, but it's right there. And we're gonna go ahead and take that, open up the latch, and then as long as the pins aren't bent, yeah, there we go. So it should drop into place. You might have a little bit of, yeah, there we go. Sometimes if the pins aren't like absolutely perfect, you might need to just put a little bit of force, but if it takes more than just a little nudge, you probably want to stop because you might have some seriously bent pins. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and do RAM and then storage. So starting off with RAM, we're gonna open up slots on both sides. Not all the motherboards have both sides that open up, but we're gonna go ahead and line up the notch. The RAM can only go in one way, and if it doesn't go in either way, that means you got the wrong RAM. So we're gonna go ahead and take it, push on both edges. I recommend like using your thumbs or maybe 2 pointer fingers, but you don't want to have to push the latches up yourself. They should clip into place. If you have to, you know, like if you got to do one of these, then that means your RAM's probably not seated all the way. All right, we got our Mushkin NVMe unboxed. So the first thing we do have to actually do is put in the M.2 riser. So there's only one M.2 on this board. So we're gonna take the little standoff, which does come with the board, by the way. It's pretty cool. And it's gonna take some precision. Here we go. You really, I mean, you can tighten this down with the screwdriver, well, with a pair of pliers if you want, but I'm not really too worried about it going anywhere. But we're gonna go ahead and take the NVMe, one slot, just kind of like the RAM, you know, it's offset. And then you're gonna take a PH1 Phillips, or a 0 will work as well. You're gonna hold down like that. Get our one screw in, not much force at all, just basically finger tight. So now we have our NVMe, our CPU, and our RAM installed. This is probably like one of the harder parts, but it's pretty easy to follow along. We're gonna go ahead and install this ID Cooling SE214. Now this is an ARGB cooler, which I don't know, the case actually has a hub. Now the board doesn't appear to have ARGB, so that's something to keep in mind, but it does have RGB. So it has RGB 12, yeah, 12 pin. It has RGB 12 volt 4 pin, but not a 3 pin. That's pretty funny. But luckily this case, which you know, Matt will show you guys in a minute, has a hub in it that has one extra slot. It's pretty cool. So here's our RGB fan. Go ahead and take that out. Get all of our mounting out. And we're gonna need some AM4 mounting, which is pretty simple. So it's gonna be the red risers or standoffs here. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew the stock back plate from the little plastic mounts. All right. Let's go ahead and take these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jonah can count now. And so if you want to, you can kind of get like an idea on how this is gonna go on, but normally it goes on like this. Go ahead and get this last screw in. Here we go. Here we go. Good. All right, there we go. Don't forget this part, guys. Oh, look, I already peeled part of it. Not all of it came off. That'd have been kind of funny. Yeah, if you leave that on, your CPU's gonna overheat, I promise. I haven't done it, but it'll overheat, I swear. I thought it came with a little tube. Maybe some do. Well, you know what? It's $15. I guess I can't be too picky. So we're just gonna go ahead and ooze this thermal paste on out.
Squeeze it out, boy. Guys, use the discount code. Buy a thing of thermal paste from AliExpress.
Yeah, get some Thermal Grizzly from AliExpress. I'm sure they have it. All right, you ready? So we're gonna put the cooler with the longer side on the RAM side because that makes it to where you know, the fan will clear the RAM. Should be able to kind of get this started. So we're gonna do some opposing corner here. I actually got a YouTube short I'm about to film about this. But you just want to make sure that you don't squeeze all the thermal paste out to one side or put too much pressure on one side or corner of the CPU. All right, so that's tightened down. Now we're gonna need these little brackets. Now they actually include extra if you want to add a second fan. we're definitely not gonna need it. So we'll go ahead and place that there. So we clip these in like that. Try to get it nice and I like to usually line it up at the top pretty well. All right, clip, clip, and clip, clip, boom, boom, boom. All right, so now we gotta plug in the CPU. So we're gonna do CPU/fan. And then, you know, I'm gonna help Matt out. We're gonna have one zip tie, just one. This will just, you know, make it a little bit cleaner. All right, I like how this looks. So we got our completed motherboard. We got the CPU fan, CPU underneath it, RAM, NVMe storage. And now Matt is gonna show you guys how to install the power supply and the I/O shield next.
All right, guys, it's now time to install the power supply. As you can see, we have everything out and ready to go. This is our power supply, the Segotep GN650. We're gonna go ahead and take this twist tie off real quick so we have access to all these cables. Don't be scared, it's not too intimidating. We also took off all the side panels for the case here. The front glass is off to the side, so more safe in the box. And the back panel is already off here, where you can see that ARGB hub, which has an extra ARGB header, which is a little bit bent. Okinos, what the heck? But hey, we'll fix that when we get to it. But hey, we're gonna go ahead and take our power supply, and as you can see right here, we're going to have the fan side facing down. We're going to slide said power supply, after pulling out these cables that are in the way, into the case, and we're gonna line up the screw holes. Jonah, you gotta tell me if they're lined up, because I don't think they're even close to being lined up.
Close. There you go.
There we go. You see the 4 screw holes? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go ahead and take this bag that came with our power supply that has some zip ties and 4 coarse threaded screws and screw in the power supply. And just like that, our power supply is installed and ready to go. Now we're gonna take our I/O shield, which came with the motherboard. We always like to do the audio ports facing down. That is the easiest way to make sure you're putting your I/O shield in properly. We're gonna take our I/O shield, we're gonna line it up with the back of the case like so, and make sure to push in all 4 corners until it locks in. This one's being a little difficult, so trust me, this one's always a fun time. So push in, boom, that's a good cookie. We got the I/O shield installed and ready to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and lay our computer case down so we can install the motherboard. Lay it down like so. Lower the table for your cameraman. We're gonna go ahead and grab our motherboard by the CPU cooler. As long as it's been mounted properly, this will work. And it's not magnetic this time, I promise. Right, Jackson? This is not magnetic?
I don't believe so.
All right,
you can try.
So we're gonna pick it up. And as you see right here, we got our ARGB header and the fan cable there. We're gonna go ahead and carefully put that. What is that? Oh, so that I didn't know the cable managed it with a twist tie. Don't leave this in here because your board's gonna sit on top of that. It's not really a big deal, but I wish they would have just not done it that way, but whatever. Jackson's gonna show you how to really cable manage. Forget that cable management, don't worry about it. Now we're gonna lay the case down and pick up the motherboard again and feed these cables through the back of the board like so. And then we're going to make sure everything lines up properly. Make sure you have enough standoffs. And it looks like, ooh, I think we have an extra standoff, ladies and gentlemen. That's something you gotta be careful of. Because if you have just that piece of metal touching the metal on your motherboard, you could short it out. And yes, I meant metal. But you see this one right here. This one's an extra. And Jonah already opened up this box right here, which is the screws that came with your case, and I'm gonna see if they give you a standoff remover tool. I'm not sure if they do or not for $59. Oh, they do. That's crazy. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and dump all this stuff out here. Look at this thing right here. It's used to go on a Phillips screwdriver like so. This is the wrong size though. You wanna use a PH2. You're gonna go ahead and take this little cap right here, no cap, and we're going to unscrew this standoff, and we're gonna move it down, and we're gonna screw in right here. God, that was so much better than the Cooler Master build we did. Anywho, we're good to go here. We're gonna do that again. I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna do again because I already told you once. So we'll go ahead and get everything behind the board. Make sure that stays behind the board. No trying to escape here. Line up, and just like that, we now have screw holes. Yay! But make sure those cables you ran behind the board, which technically I don't even need to run them behind the board. I'll probably run them through this cutout up here. You do behind the board or through the cutout. This cutout right there. There goes that ARGB header and the fan header. And then we're gonna go and screw in the motherboard with the fine threaded screws that came with your case. The bag inside a bag that came inside the white box. And here we go. These are the power supply screws we used before. These are the fine threaded screws we're gonna use. And we're gonna go ahead and screw in the motherboard. Top right first. Screw in this one right here. And I will say, I'm already gonna say this when we get to the cable routing option. As you see right here, there's like this little cutout. I think we're gonna run the 24 pin behind this, but to do that, we will need to take some of the screws out again. So I'm just gonna show you guys all the screws you need to screw in. You'll need to screw in this one, this one, this one, and this one. But I'm gonna leave them out for now so we can run the cables cleanly and then screw it down. It makes it much easier running them behind the board to make it look a lot cleaner. So the motherboard's actually ready to plug stuff in with that in mind. So we're gonna go ahead and set this thing up. Now that it is somewhat secure with 2 screws, don't forget to screw the rest of the board in if you're following along at home. But we're gonna show you guys what to plug up. It's not gonna be too hard, and we got an easy amount of room for cable management, and then we'll be ready to game, guys. We're getting close. All right, you ready to plug up some cables?
I'm ready to plug up some cables. I think it's gonna be real easy if you guys just follow along. So first up, we got the 24 pin. This is the main power coming off of the power supply. We're actually going behind the board here just because we got a pretty long way.
All right, guys, you see the 24 pin coming from behind the board. We have this cutout here that allows us to do that very cleanly. We're gonna go ahead and flip this around, line it up with the clip, push down, and boom, our 24 pin is installed and ready to go.
Next up, we have the CPU 8 pin. So this is actually a 4+4 pin, but they're connected together, which this board actually will take. So we can just go ahead and feed that straight through the top.
And we'll say it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge to plug this thing up, but we're gonna try our best anyways. You saw where that connector is in the top left up there. I'm going to do some maneuvering here. Line it up like so.
They call him Cable MacGyver.
Push that ish in. Hear that click? Boom, good to go.
So next up, this is a preemptive step. We're gonna go ahead and run our PCIe 8 pin. This is actually called a 6+2 pin. And we're gonna go ahead and just run that through the power supply basement. We're not gonna plug it in yet, but we just wanna go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yep, go ahead and run that through. Get the other one through. And yeah, we'll just keep this right over here out of the way for right now.
And I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the power supply by plugging in the SATA for the ARGB hub. So that's gonna be, got this connector right here and this connector here, and it can only go in one way. There's like a little notch, so let me go ahead and run that up behind all the cables. Yeah, there we go. So that is now plugged in. So at this point, we're basically done with the power supply. So I'm just gonna kind of take the cable, spin off to the side. We'll cable manage them in just a little bit here, but let's go ahead and do the front panel. So that is going to be these little guys here. This case specifically has a power switch and 2 power LEDs as a plus and a minus. So we're gonna go ahead and run those through the basement area.
As you can see, they're coming out right there, and McAllister put a diagram on screen here where we're gonna go in order. All we have is, again, the power switch and power LED, so we do not need to do hard drive LED. We'll first start with the top left, power LED positive. Next to that is power LED negative. And then right next to that header is the power switch. Very easy front panel with this case.
Next up, we have the HD audio. That is going to be read above the power supply typically, but it looks kind of like a USB 2 header, except it's missing one pin closer to the middle rather than the very edge. We're gonna go ahead and run that over top of the power supply, just like this.
You can see it coming out. It is the header on the far left. Be sure to line up the missing pin with the blocked off connector on the HD audio. Go ahead and line it up, push it in, and just like that, you now have high definition audio, ladies and gentlemen.
So next up, we have the USB Type-C. That's this connector here. So obviously not every case and not every motherboard is going to have that. This may be one of those boards. So we're gonna have to adapt this. Now, obviously, your PC will work if this isn't plugged in, but your front USB on the case will not work. So we're gonna be getting a special. I know you can get these off AliExpress.
You most certainly can. Now, yes, with this motherboard, you could go a different motherboard route that has USB Type-C and you don't have to worry about this, or a case that doesn't have it, but in this case, we're gonna make it at least a functioning port with a USB 2 to C adapter. Yes, it's devious, but it works.
These are arguably one of Matt's favorite adapters. So as you can see, plugged in. The good news is these ones are shorter than the typical ones that we usually use. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that through, what are they, right here probably?
Other side.
The power supply one?
Yeah.
Right here?
And here it comes, guys.
There we go.
As you can see, there are 2 USB 2s over here. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys how ugly this Jean is. You know what, with this being kind of a flat USB-C, it's not horrible, but it's still not great. As you can see, we got it plugged up right here, and you tell me down below what you think of that thing.
Next up, we're gonna do the USB 3. That is a really large connector. Obviously, this board's new enough where it should definitely have it.
It's in the same spot, though, by the HD audio.
Oh, what the heck? USB 3 above the power supply.
Can we get it? I'm gonna need to, let me remove this for a second. We're gonna backtrack. USB 3, as you can see, is right next to the USB 2 we're using for our adapter. These cables are like intertwined with each other right now. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll go ahead and line up the notch. There we go.
You'll probably notice that the build is cable managed, and that is because we turned it on and realized the fans weren't plugged in. So the fans need power. That's where this comes in. This is a fan splitter. It comes with the case. Everything's plugged in. We literally just forgot to do it. You said above the power supply?
The other side.
Oh, over here.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna take that fan header. We're gonna go ahead and run that through here.
And as you can see, this little white header right here. Oh, I can't see the fan. Where's the fan at? Oh, there it is. I got it. We're gonna take this, go ahead and line it up like so, push it in, and boom, we now have, well, you know, fan power.
We can go back to the current timeline. So we have one more step before we do the GPU and the cable management. This is an ARGB header. This is that one I was telling you guys about earlier. Luckily, this case actually has one open slot on the hub. So that's it. Just like that, now our fan in the front is going to have the nice RGB glow to it. So now we're going to go ahead and switch camera angles and show you guys how to put the GPU in.
Before that, don't forget to screw the rest of your motherboard in, because I did not screw it all the way down. Let's
yes.
go ahead and screw the rest of the motherboard in with those fine thread screws, and then we'll be off to the races to install the 4060. All right, guys, it's now time to install the graphics card. Look at this thing, the RTX 4060. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that this lines up properly before we do any sort of breaking off of the PCI covers. And it looks like we're gonna need to remove the top two. So what we need to do is get our screwdriver, unscrew this PCI cover right here, slide her back like so. These two are the ones we're gonna need to break off. We're gonna do so by pushing in, and then wiggle, wiggle. Boom, there's the first one. Whee! Boom, just like that. Now we're gonna take our graphics card, and we're going to line it up with the top slot. Make sure to push back this little latch right here that allows you to install your graphics card. Go ahead and line it up like so, and then we're going to push, and just like that, the graphics card is installed. Then we're going to take some of the power supply screws that came with the case screws, line it up with the screw holes right here, and go ahead and tighten it down. There's number one. And then here is number two. Probably crank that. There we go. Slide this back on, screw it down. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our 8-pin right here and plug it up here. Line it up like so, push in, and boom, we're good there. I'm gonna go take one of these zip ties that came with the power supply real quick, and we're going to tie this little extra cable like so, just to make things look a little cleaner. Just like that, it's fastened down. Give that back to Jackson, that's his problem now. And then grab some snips and snip that off. And just like that, guys, your build is technically ready to go, but there's gonna be a little bit of cable management we're gonna do with the back panel to get everything nice and perfect. And from there, we're gonna turn things on, get Windows installed, and then we're ready to game on this PC. Let's see how the 4060 and 3600 pair together.
All right, guys, it's time for some cable management. So to start off camera, I went ahead and shoved a lot of the cables into the hard drive cage. If you're not gonna use that, honestly, just remove it. It gets rid of some of the weight and it gives you a lot more room. But I like to start off from the very top, and you're gonna kind of work your way down. So I like to kind of bunch the cables together and run them in a straight line, basically. And obviously make sure not to, make anything too tight, because when you go to put on that side panel, it's pretty easy to have stuff come unplugged. All right, I feel pretty good about that. So as usual, I always tell you guys, I leave the bottom of the case pretty uncable managed, just because I think for upgrades and troubleshooting, it's a lot nicer. Not having all those cables almost impossible to get out. It just makes it take a lot longer, but it's all personal preference. So we're gonna go ahead and cut all the zip ties with a flush cut. And yeah, that looks pretty acceptable. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the side panel on and then make sure this thing actually turns on.
Hi, what's up?
The first time.
Hey, look at that. And we're RGB'd out and ready to go. Let's install some games and get to gaming. All right, guys, we are now in the finals with this beautiful RTX 4060 PC, and we're currently at 1080p, no upscaling, medium settings, no ray tracing. We're set to static right now, kind of going for just optimal performance here, and we're getting optimal performance, guys. We're getting about 100 FPS on average, not too bad. Again, with this pairing, you don't have to go RTX 4060. The main reason we went 4060 is, one, everyone seems to be buying the 4060, regardless of how people may say the value is not good with that card. Everyone's buying the 4060, so this is a good combo for those who want to get a 4060 and don't want to spend, well, $700 or $800 and actually make more price performance out of this card. So I'm excited to be able to use this card, but there's a lot of other options you can go with the Ryzen 5 3600. It's still a very capable CPU. Unlike this guy. Oh my God, that guy wasn't even looking and he still killed me. Are you kidding me? But hey, this combo's good. The CPU's running nice and cool. 3600 running nice. We're boosting up to 4 gigahertz. GPU's looking really nice. All in all, this is just a very easy, simple build that allows you to take advantage of the awesome sales that AliExpress is running right now. I got him. Oh, I did not want to do that. That was probably a bad drop on my part. Just res him though. That's a melee. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'll try it anyways. Got it. Obviously, you do have DLSS. In a game like this, I wouldn't run DLSS at 1080p personally, but you do have that option to get a little more FPS numbers. But yeah, I would say if you want to stretch into 1440p, DLSS will definitely be your friend. You'll probably get similar results. Oh my, oh no. Oh, the person's right there. I just noticed that. Oh! Okay, I hit those. Oh, I could have respawned. I didn't realize that. Sudden death, oh God. And they won. Not my greatest performance in the finals, I'll be real with you, but 90 plus FPS, medium settings, 1080p with the RTX 4060 for a $600 PC, looking pretty dang good. Let's try some other games.
All right, guys, we are playing some COD. We're playing the Black Ops 6, and we are currently not running any upscaling. We're at 1080p, balanced preset. Let's see what AliExpress can do.
Not bad.
Yeah, it seems like it. Man, that GPU is just like, I'm giving it my best.
460 is doing all he got. Oh, okay. There we go. Great start, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep,
oh, look at that.
He is mounted on the platform. We're gonna get him though. We're gonna get him. Mark my words. All right, let's get some denies real quick. Oh,
nice. Valid.
Grumpy Man is still back there. If anybody was wondering. Guaranteed post.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh my God.
Oh, we're running now. We're running.
Oh, Grumpy Man got me.
Oh. Grumpy movement. Oh, there. Oh, pistol kill.
I like that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he's convinced.
Like I've gotten so many of them. We need to be able to reload faster.
Why are you stuck in the ground?
23 and 12, we'll take that. That's positive. Yeah, I'm Gary's mod glitching right now. So Call of Duty, pretty good at the balanced preset with no upscaling, over 100 FPS.
Not bad at all.
Game.
Yep, run the next game and we'll wrap this up real quick and tell you how you can build this PC for a great price.
All right, guys, we just got done benchmarking this gaming PC with that 4060, and I would definitely say this is a big improvement over the OG Xeon method. And on top of that, I feel pretty good about these parts lasting a long time.
Yeah, the Ryzen 5 3600 and that motherboard from AliExpress is a really good combination and a good upgrade, again, over those Xeon combos. The other benchmarks we ran are as follows. Of course, we didn't play Fortnite during the live testing, but we had to test Fortnite at 1080p DX12. We got 144 plus FPS. Black Myth Wukong at 1080p high settings with DLSS frame gen got 115 FPS average with a max of 130 and a minimum of 23. And Spider-Man Miles Morales 1080p high settings with ray tracing enabled and DLSS enabled. We got 60 plus FPS. Few dips here and there, but overall a pretty smooth experience. And lastly, our 3D Mark score was 9,796, which is a 6 cent per point score. One thing to note about that actually is it is only slightly higher than the 4060 pre-built we reviewed here on the channel recently with an older CPU. So 3D Mark is definitely very GPU heavy, and really 3D Mark seems to really use the 4060 very well regardless of what CPU you have. But the other benchmarks did show this is a really awesome PC with a solid upgrade path, and all in all, a fun build to put together, and hopefully you guys enjoyed following along at home. If you want to buy any of the parts from today's video, links in the description down below will be affiliate links. They will help us out. Let us know what you think of this $600 PC down below, and will you build one yourself?
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
So now that we're done with this gaming PC, it will be for sale at PCBros.tech, and we got that 1-year warranty covered for you.
PCBros.tech. We sell awesome gaming PCs for you guys that we feature here on the channel, and also ones that are ready to ship right now. We are super quick, guys. Buy a PC today. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You'll save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Bye-bye.